Walking alone is not a sign of loneliness, it's an act of courage. It's a choice to be at peace with one's own company, to embrace the quiet within, and to draw strength from a place that isn't reliant on external validation. A woman who walks alone embodies this strength in a profound way. She knows that being alone isn't about shutting the world out, but rather about building a world within a world within a world where she can confront, understand, and accept herself fully. This solitude becomes a canvas for self-discovery, one where she can paint her true self without fear of judgment or interruption. To walk alone is to embrace the uncharted. Many fear solitude because they fear facing themselves, but the woman who chooses this path understands that there is wisdom in that encounter. She walks forward not to escape or withdraw, but to listen to the whispers of her own heart and mind. It's in these moments of stillness that she finds her own voice, free from the noise and expectations of the world. She learns what she truly believes, what she values, and who she is without the influence of others. This is the power of solitude. It reveals the depths of the self layer by layer in ways that are rarely accessible in the company of others. In solitude, she also learns to find strength in vulnerability. Being alone requires her to stand face to face with her fears, insecurities, and past scars. Without the distractions that come with constant company, she confronts her own shadows, bringing to light the parts of herself that may have been hidden or ignored. But she doesn't turn away, she looks inward and begins to understand the roots of her anxieties and pain. And in doing so, she realizes that vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's the doorway to resilience. By embracing her flaws and fragilities, she learns to accept herself wholly, and this acceptance becomes her strength. In a society that often equates success with collaboration and companionship, her solitude can be misunderstood. People may wonder why she chooses to walk alone, assuming she is withdrawn, lost, or disconnected. But she understands that solitude is not isolation, it's a choice to prioritize self-growth, to cultivate independence, and to experience life on her own terms. Walking alone teaches her to rely on herself, to trust her instincts, and to forge a path that is uniquely hers. She finds joy in this independence, in the freedom that comes from knowing she is whole and complete within herself. Through solitude, she also develops a greater appreciation for connection. When she does choose to share her time with others, it's not from a place of need, but from a place of genuine choice. Solitude teaches her the value of relationships built on mutual respect and authenticity, rather than dependency. And so she walks alone not to distance herself, but to understand herself, and in understanding herself, she learns to connect with others in a deeper, more meaningful way. A woman who walks alone is not empty or lost. She is rooted in herself, her soul strengthened by the journey inward. She understands that true strength comes not from the presence of others, but from the courage to stand alone, to face oneself, and to find peace within. This solitude becomes her quiet, unwavering power, guiding her as she walks forward, one step at a time, knowing that she is enough. A woman who walks alone often chooses a path that is different, one that diverges from the familiar trails others have tread before her. This journey, the path less taken, is one she embarks upon not out of rebellion or defiance, but out of a deep desire to experience life on her own terms, unshaped by the expectations and conventions of others. She understands that by walking her own path, she steps into unknown territory, a place of discovery, of possibility, and of growth. Each step she takes is both a revelation and a declaration, a commitment to authenticity and to living a life that reflects her true self. The path less taken is not always smooth, it's often filled with challenges, detours, and moments of uncertainty. There are no clear markers to follow, no well-worn signs pointing out the way, but it's precisely these unknowns that make the journey meaningful. She learns to trust her instincts, to rely on her own intuition to guide her through difficult terrain. Along the way, she discovers her resilience and resourcefulness. She learns to adapt, to be flexible, and to find strength within herself that she may not have realized she possessed. This path, though difficult, reveals her capacity to overcome, and she grows stronger with each step she takes. Choosing this less traveled road also means she encounters beauty that others may never see. She sees the world through her own lens, observing it with fresh eyes, unfiltered by preconceived notions. By charting her own course, she opens herself up to experiences that are unique, raw, and deeply personal. She finds meaning in small, overlooked moments, the quiet morning light filtering through the trees, the sound of her own breath as she walks forward, the realization that she is truly present in her journey. She learns to appreciate solitude, and in it she discovers a profound connection to herself and the world around her. Society often encourages conformity, suggesting that the safest and most acceptable paths are those that have been traveled by many. But she knows that following someone else's path would mean compromising her own dreams, her own vision of what life could be. She chooses the path less taken because she is unwilling to settle for a life that isn't fully hers. This journey is an act of self-respect and self-love, a commitment to honoring her own desires, ambitions, and values. On this journey, she may encounter moments of doubt. She may question her choices, wonder if she is moving in the right direction, but she knows that these moments are natural, part of the journey itself. Rather than turning back or succumbing to fear, she uses these doubts as opportunities to reaffirm her purpose. She reflects, regroups, and continues forward with even greater resolve. She knows that by facing these moments head-on, she is becoming the person she is meant to be. Ultimately, the path less taken allows her to live a life that is fully alive, vibrant, and true. She may walk alone, but she walks with purpose, embracing the freedom that comes with choosing her own way. Through her journey, she inspires others to consider their own paths and to find the courage to walk in the direction that calls to them. She becomes a beacon of possibility, showing that there is beauty, strength, and wisdom in choosing the road less traveled. A woman who walks alone understands that vulnerability is not something to shy away from, rather, it is a powerful force to embrace. Her journey is an intimate dance with vulnerability, an invitation to face life openly and authentically, without the protective layers that often shield us from discomfort. In choosing to walk alone, she steps into a space where she is fully exposed to the elements of her inner world, her fears, her insecurities, and her desires. Vulnerability for her becomes less of a risk and more of a doorway into self-discovery and growth. This dance with vulnerability is not without its challenges. There are moments of doubt and hesitation, times when she wonders if she has the strength to continue without the comfort of a guiding hand or the assurance of companionship. Walking alone requires her to confront her own limitations and insecurities, but in doing so she also discovers the depths of her resilience. By allowing herself to be vulnerable, she finds that she is capable of facing difficult truths and experiencing emotions that she might otherwise suppress. Vulnerability does not weaken her. Instead, it becomes a source of inner strength, showing her that she has the capacity to endure, adapt, and thrive. In her vulnerability, she learns the art of self-acceptance. She realizes that to be truly vulnerable means to accept herself fully, her strengths and her flaws, her past mistakes and her triumphs. This acceptance is transformative, for it allows her to let go of the need to be perfect or to meet external expectations. She embraces herself as she is, knowing that her worth is not diminished by her imperfections. This act of self-acceptance frees her from the weight of judgment, both from others and from herself, and allows her to walk her path with confidence and authenticity. Vulnerability also teaches her to connect more deeply with the world around her. By opening herself up to the rawness of her emotions, she becomes more compassionate and understanding toward others. She sees that everyone is carrying their own burdens, facing their own fears, and learning their own lessons. Her vulnerability allows her to approach others with empathy rather than judgment, creating connections that are based on genuine understanding rather than superficial expectations. In this way, her solitude becomes a bridge, allowing her to connect with others from a place of honesty and openness. Walking alone with vulnerability also means embracing uncertainty. She learns to dance with the unknown, to accept that there will be moments of instability and times when the future is unclear. Yet, rather than seeking control or certainty, she finds peace in the present moment, trusting that each step will lead her where she needs to go. This acceptance of uncertainty gives her a sense of freedom. She no longer feels bound by the need to know everything or to have all the answers. Instead, she allows herself to be guided by intuition, learning to trust her own instincts as she moves forward. Ultimately, her dance with vulnerability is an act of courage. It takes strength to face oneself, to be open to change, and to accept life's unpredictability. By choosing this path, she becomes a model of authenticity and bravery. She shows that vulnerability is not a weakness but a profound source of power, a means of connecting with one's truest self and with others. Through this dance, she grows stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Her journey, though solitary, is enriched by the depth and beauty that only vulnerability can bring, and it lights the way for others to embrace their own inner strength. A woman who walks alone finds herself in a world of self-reflection, where meaning arises not from the clamor of external voices, but from the quiet depths within. For her, solitude becomes a sacred space, a pause from the constant flow of outside expectations, allowing her to reconnect with her true self. In the stillness, she encounters her thoughts, her beliefs, and her dreams. Through this inner dialogue, she begins to understand who she is beyond the roles she plays, beyond what others may see or expect from her. In this journey of self-reflection, she learns to sit with herself, to listen deeply, and to welcome even the thoughts and feelings she may have once tried to ignore. This encounter with herself is not always comfortable. Self-reflection often brings forth unresolved emotions, buried insecurities, and past experiences that still linger. Yet she realizes that facing these parts of herself is essential to her growth. By turning inward, she embraces the opportunity to acknowledge her vulnerabilities, her strengths, and her aspirations. This act of honest self-reflection becomes a tool for transformation, helping her shed what no longer serves her, and allowing her to nurture what brings her closer to her true essence. Self-reflection also teaches her the power of intention. As she journeys within, she gains clarity on her values and priorities, those things that truly matter to her. This awareness becomes a compass, guiding her actions and decisions with purpose. No longer swayed by fleeting trends or others' expectations, she is able to pursue a path that aligns with her deepest values. The meaning she finds within herself becomes her guiding light, illuminating the steps she takes in the world. Her life is no longer shaped by the expectations of others, but by her own understanding of what brings her fulfillment and joy. Through self-reflection, she finds a renewed sense of gratitude for the journey she has traveled so far. She recognizes the lessons hidden within her past experiences, the challenges that have strengthened her, the mistakes that have taught her, and the moments of joy that remind her of life's beauty. By reflecting on her past, she learns to approach her future with a sense of wisdom and resilience. She no longer fears the unknown or regrets what cannot be changed. Instead, she walks forward with the knowledge that each step, no matter how uncertain, brings her closer to her authentic self. As she continues this journey of self-reflection, she also becomes more present. She learns that true meaning is found not only in distant goals, but in the richness of the present moment. She savors the quiet moments, the simple joys, and the acts of kindness she encounters along the way. This newfound presence allows her to see beauty in the ordinary, to find meaning in the here and now rather than constantly seeking it in future aspirations or external validation. Ultimately, the meaning she finds in self-reflection is a gift that deepens her connection to herself and the world around her. By understanding herself more fully, she learns to approach others with empathy and compassion, recognizing that everyone has their own journey of self-discovery. Her time alone has given her a unique perspective, one that values authenticity, growth, and connection. In her solitude, she has found a sense of purpose that guides her, a clarity that centers her, and a peace that sustains her. And as she walks through life, she carries this inner wisdom with her, knowing that the path to meaning is not in the destination, but in the journey of self-understanding. A woman who walks alone often embodies a certain mystery, an essence that is both captivating and elusive. She lives unbound by the expectations and assumptions of others, embracing the beauty of being an enigma. Her life is her own, full of complexities, uncharted experiences, and dreams known only to herself. To those who observe her from a distance, she may seem difficult to fully understand. But this is not because she hides herself, it is because she has chosen to live authentically, unapologetically, and without the need for constant explanation. Being an enigma means that she does not fit neatly into the labels or categories that people often create to make sense of the world. She defies these conventions not out of rebellion but out of a deep commitment to staying true to herself. Her path is carved by her own choices, her own desires, and her own inner wisdom, rather than by the opinions of others. This independence creates a unique, radiant beauty, a kind of self-assuredness that can only come from a life lived on her own terms. She is mysterious not because she chooses to conceal who she is, but because she knows that the fullness of her spirit cannot be easily captured or defined. Her enigma is a source of strength, giving her the freedom to explore life with an open heart and mind. She does not feel pressure to explain her choices or justify her actions, for she understands that her journey is uniquely hers. She lives in a world that is deeply personal, a realm where her dreams and ambitions are her own compass. This detachment from the need for external validation gives her a sense of peace and fulfillment. She finds comfort in the knowledge that not everything needs to be understood, that mystery itself is a part of life's beauty. Being an enigma also allows her to connect with others in a different way. Rather than relying on surface-level interactions, she seeks out those who are genuinely curious, those who wish to understand her for who she truly is, without preconceived notions. Her mystery draws people in, not because she is hiding, but because she lives with a sense of depth that invites others to go beyond the superficial. She understands that true connection is built on empathy, patience, and understanding. By embracing her own complexity, she encourages others to embrace theirs as well, creating relationships that are more genuine and profound. Her enigmatic nature is also a reminder that life itself is full of unknowns and contradictions. She embodies the idea that one can be both strong and vulnerable, independent yet connected, grounded yet endlessly curious. By holding these dualities within herself, she becomes a mirror, reflecting the complexity and beauty of being human. She reminds others that it is possible to live fully without the need to explain every aspect of oneself, that mystery is an essential part of individuality. As she walks through life, her enigma remains a quiet but powerful statement of freedom. She shows that there is strength in being different, in resisting the pressure to be fully understood or easily defined. Her beauty is not in conformity, but in the richness of her character, in the wisdom and stories she carries within. She lives with the understanding that the unknown is not something to fear, but to cherish. By embracing the beauty of being an enigma, she lives with a sense of adventure, knowing that each day is an opportunity to discover new facets of herself, and each interaction is a chance to connect in a way that transcends words. In a world that often seeks to simplify, she stands as a reminder of the beauty of complexity. She is a symbol of individuality and the freedom to be undefined. Her life, like a work of art, is open to interpretation, yet fully complete within itself. The beauty of being an enigma is not in the mystery it creates for others, but in the peace, freedom, and joy it brings to her own journey. A woman who walks alone discovers a profound sense of empowerment in unattachment. Her journey is not shaped by dependence on others or the need for external validation, but by an inner strength that flows from within. She has come to understand that true freedom lies in releasing her attachment to expectations, whether they are her own or those of others. In this unattachment, she finds the courage to live life authentically and fully, embracing both its highs and lows without fear of loss or disappointment. For her, unattachment is not about indifference, it is about living with a sense of openness, unburdened by the need to control outcomes. This path of unattachment allows her to move through life with grace and resilience. She is not defined by labels, relationships, or possessions. Instead, she defines herself by her inner values and her sense of purpose. When she lets go of the need to cling to specific outcomes, she creates space for life to unfold naturally. She no longer feels compelled to force situations or relationships to fit her desires. Rather, she trusts that what is meant for her will come in its own time. This trust gives her a sense of peace, a calm knowing that she has everything she needs within herself. In this way, unattachment becomes her armor, protecting her from the turbulence of life's unpredictable changes. Unattachment does not mean she lacks passion or ambition. On the contrary, it frees her to pursue her dreams and goals with greater clarity and dedication. Because she is not tied to a particular result, she can give her best without fear of failure or rejection. She approaches her pursuits with a genuine love for the journey itself, rather than an obsession with where it might lead. This liberates her from the self-imposed pressure of perfectionism, allowing her to learn, grow, and adapt along the way. Each step becomes a source of joy, a discovery, and an opportunity to evolve, regardless of the final outcome. Her achievements, then, are not merely accomplishments, but reflections of her inner journey. In relationships, unattachment grants her a sense of balance and mutual respect. She does not seek to possess others, nor does she allow herself to be possessed. This enables her to form connections that are based on true companionship and respect, not dependency. She values those who choose to be part of her life, but does not rely on them for her happiness or self-worth. This independence allows her relationships to flourish, free from the weight of expectations or conditions. She brings her whole self to these connections, knowing that they are enhanced by her strength and not by her need. Through unattachment, she also discovers resilience in facing life's inevitable changes. She knows that everything is transient, that situations and people may come and go. This understanding does not sadden her, it empowers her to cherish the present moment fully. Each experience, whether joyful or challenging, becomes a teacher offering insights and growth that enrich her journey. She learns to hold on to memories lightly, appreciating them without clinging to them, and this helps her to move forward unburdened, open to whatever lies ahead. The empowerment she gains through unattachment is a quiet, steady force. It allows her to live authentically, embrace change with grace, and approach life with a heart full of acceptance and a mind clear of expectation. She has freed herself from the illusion that happiness depends on the external, recognizing instead that her true strength lies within. By practicing unattachment, she remains grounded in herself, resilient and ready for whatever may come. This inner freedom, this unattachment, becomes the foundation upon which she builds a life of meaning, purpose, and peace.